Let's move everyone in here. We are live.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Howdy.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve. So we are here. I am going to be, answering the questions over there. But we've got Brother Billy. He's like Duck Duck Goose. We've got Father Billy, boyfriend Mike, and let the comments and questions roll, I guess.
Right? We're live from my house.
All right. So anyone that has, we already have questions. So if anyone has any questions, go right ahead, ask away.
There's already more people than Middletown gets on a Saturday night.
Easy.
I didn't say that.
I did also give them some beverages, so we might be in trouble. But all right, so let's see. Question. Oh, we know where this is going to go. We're going to start from Mike, work our way down with the question. So question, do the drivers also have full-time careers outside of racing? How about the crew members?
Many do. A lot of them don't. I really don't. I work on the car full-time and race full-time.
Me? I don't know. We did speed shops, sold tires, have rentals, rental garages, rental spaces, rental houses.
Mm-hmm.
That's my sideline.
My dad told me I had to go to school Jeep racing. So I have a real job on that. Not a real job, a regular job. I
There we go. Thank you.
say on top of it, but on top of that, so Mike's got a degree in sports management, I think it is. Am I right, Mike?
You can call it a real job. I
didn't call it a real job. I just said what it is. I don't know that side of it. Hey,
I have a motorsports technology degree.
Exactly.
I don't know if it got me this job, but it was a fun time.
Exactly. So
I learned some stuff.
Billy wasn't sure he had to go to college whether he'd make it racing.
Yeah, exactly. They told me I wasn't going to make it on that side of it, so I gave up. I'll be honest, I gave up a half a semester in college one year. I said, I'm going to make it racing full time. And then I got halfway through it. I went, man, this ain't enough money to live off of. So I went back to school. But I think that's Mike's side gig. He's going to be a motorsports engineering teacher when he slows down racing, and they'll decide. That's what we always joke about. Because if you know him, he's methodical and would be great at that.
Thanks.
Fancy.
Appreciate it.
All right. So Josh asks, what is the biggest win of each of you guys?
Ooh. Man. I won a big race at Fonda once. That was pretty cool. It was a 12,000 to win Jack Johnson Memorial. That was pretty awesome.
Okay, you're gonna keep looking at me. I'm going over here.
I don't know how you pick one.
Yeah,
all the wins you got, how do you pick one? That's a hard question.
I don't know. I would say kind of off the wall would be coming in for a fill-in at Flemington for the Race of Champions. I didn't race there all year on asphalt. And to jump in a car and go out there and qualify and start 43rd or something and win that race, I thought that was pretty impressive. I mean, won Syracuse in a sprint, but we ran sprints all year. Just jump in an asphalt car that I haven't been in, or pancake car, them low ones, and go out and start that far back and come through and win the race. But I thought that was probably the coolest thing I ever did.
I was there for that. I second that. That was pretty impressive. So for me, I don't know. We won a few of them there. We won more money than this one, but this was kind of cool. In July, we won backs and we beat Stu and Matt on when they're on top of the game. We beat the two best in the business on top of the game. That's more than sometimes you make money, like a lot of money, but that's one of the better ones that we won. I would say so.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
It was a good race. Cole asks, when was your first hard wreck that rung your bell? How about let's start this way?
Oh, me.
Yours is easy.
Well, come on to that side of it. Everyone comes to me on this side of it. So anybody
he had a record go on when he first started racing. Once a year he had a flip.
Yeah.
So anybody that follows Mandee Pauch vlogs, the most popular video is my wreck at Port Royal. So let's be honest here. Let's really go into that. So the second most popular video on YouTube is my flip and fold. So we're going for a good one there. But those two are the best ones I've ever taken. I would gotta say, you'd think Port Royal hurts more, but Fulton hurt more a couple days later. So Port Royal, the way I hit, it just popped me out in the general, and I still hurt, but Fulton, I couldn't move my neck for a couple of days. So just everything's the way you hit, not the way you feel.
I'd have to say the first time.
Yes.
First time would be first time I really got whacked up was Penn National, mid '80s there. I was coming out, I don't know, through 1 and 2 or something. I got turned around backwards, and it was real dusty. And Jack Fullweller's brother, I can't remember his name, he went up over the front of the car and drove up over the left front because I was going backwards. And he got into the cage, ripped the cage back to about my face, about here. And it tore the steering loose and come back and hit my knee and knocked me out. So I had to have knee surgery. I was out for about 3 weeks till I figured out how to cut a hole in the firewall and put the brake pedal on the other side so I could race with a broken leg. But that was the first time I really rung my bell. I'd say rung my bell because it knocked me out. And I remember they were pulling me out of the car, and I came to, and I was like, and then I just passed right back out again until I got to the hospital. And it was Hershey Medical Center. I remember going in there at the time. I smoked and stuff, and we're in there, and they're saying, "Oh, your kneecap, what holds it down, broke. And we gotta go ahead and operate. We can shore it up and send you back to where you want to get it done, or we can do it here." Hershey Medical Center is like one of the best in the country, And I don't know, for some reason, I smoked a lot back then. I asked, "Can you smoke in rooms here?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm here. We'll stay here." So I stayed there and had it done.
What about you, Mike?
I've had a few licks, I guess, but nothing like that. So I guess one of the stories I could tell is that the year after I won the big race that I mentioned at Fonda, I went back and trying to defend the race that I won prior. I was splitting a lap car with Danny Varon, and I was on the outside, and I got sent up into the wall and flipped upside down, kind of like pulled like a skateboard move on the wall, like slid across it and then landed on my lid and wrecked the car really bad, which that car had won us a lot of races the year prior, and it was almost the worst part of it. I wasn't hurt, but the car was, and I was so just beside myself because I didn't know if any of our other cars were that good to be able to, win races again. So
you know what they say.
Yeah, boy.
You mess with the bull, you get the horn once in a while.
Yep.
Good point.
All right, so we already got the family question. People are asking if there's room in the garage for Mike's cars.
Last time we tried, we got a pole building on that side of it, so he came down for a little.
You got the back barn.
You got the back barn.
Is that somebody you implanted on this?
No.
as long as I don't require heat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the summertime.
It's the summertime. We work through.
So Stephen Johnson asks, how do you stay fit all year long?
So go ahead, Mike. You can start on this side of it.
Gas stations and
Gas stations.
well, that's where
Wawa. I can do.
Oh.
If BP3 comes over later, he can tell you the Wawa menu off the top of his head. That's how much we eat on that side of it. So
honestly, the race cars require so much work that it's a workout just to get up in the morning every day and go and wrench on them that much, and then I feel like I get a workout just from going to work every day.
Do you guys have any input on that?
Oh, go ahead, you can go first.
I mean,
no, I can go first.
It's tough. Back when I was their age,
Did you have time?
I mean, I raced 3 nights a week during the week, so I was in shape. And getting older, I quit smoking 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't think I could have kept going. I do exercise a little bit and stretch and stuff, and try to watch my weight. Drop 20 pounds. And
well, weight's a big factor, really. Your weight.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, you gotta be in a certain shape. I mean, you can't get winded. I mean, I'll be 64 next year. It's like I'm not what I was when I was 30. To sit up in the seat, drive hard for 30 laps, it takes a lot. To get up in the seat and drive for 100 or 200 laps takes a lot. It's like I'm trying to limit my shows down to 30 laps now. So, but it's tough.
He stays in shape by chasing this guy around.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. So probably about 19, I thought you had to be in the best shape ever. And the more or less I focused on my shape, the more I worked on race cars, the better I did. So I took that off of Tony Stewart. So I kind of grasped it. I like Mike says, you work hard on race cars. Usually the first race of the year, even after Florida, my neck's killing me, which is just racing shape as I call it. And once you get going, you're pretty good on that side of it. And how do you stay in shape?
All right. So a few people have asked, actually, what to Dad and Billy, what were your thoughts when Mike had gotten DQ'd at Weed Sport?
So there's a lot of DQs on that.
That's like
So we're gonna politically correct this on that side because I do like D Reynolds and dirt, but half inch is really kind of bogus on my opinion. If you're gonna go, you usually tell someone not to bring it back the following week if it's something as small as it was. Is my opinion on things. If it's something big, like you're cutting seals, cheating seals, doing tire doping, okay, yes, you go down on that side of it. But if it's something small like that, just don't bring it back. It's been the rule of it. It wasn't making them any faster. It obviously proved it in the Consi in the future. So leave it at that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just think it's chicken shit people that do that kind of stuff and wait till the right time to throw something in instead of doing it at the beginning of the night when they know it. They know it. They know at the beginning of the night, but no, they don't say nothing. They wait till it's to their advantage.
Yep.
And then they strike. You know, I've had that situation 100 times, and especially in New Egypt. You know, I'm in the winter circle in my emissary down in Tech, who finished second, was already trying to figure out how to get me beat with some stupid 1 inch or 2 inch infraction or something. But that's just low people. You know, like you said, if it's big tire open or voters or something like that, yeah. But you know, for freaking half inch or an inch of cheap metal or something stupid.
Yeah. All right, this is an interesting one. If you had to choose another profession starting Monday next week, what would it be?
What do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow older? He's got no answer. So go ahead, Mike. You start with that.
What do you want to be when you grow older?
Motivational speaker.
Yeah, there you go.
Me, I can do nothing to be happy. I can do the least amount of, I'm happy just building something or screwing around in my garage, just welding something up, building something stupid. I'm happy.
He's going to be a farmer when he retires. That would have been his other job.
Yeah.
He's always out there.
I started out as a farmer, and I was so happy to be a race car driver. I don't want to go back to being a farmer.
Exactly. So
I'm just happy, just goofing off, right, Bill? Building Fort Tech, right? We're building a log cabin, me and him.
Building a log cabin from hand is what they're doing on that side. It's pretty cool.
So you mentioned your favorite race you won. What do you feel was your biggest?
Well, it'd be the same, wouldn't it?
I mean, what do you feel like people noticed you more from?
It's a weird one.
I know.
I couldn't say a win, but from a stage perspective, when we made the Chili Bowl in Maine,
Heck yeah.
you know what I mean? Not that that was anything on that side of it, but it was pretty cool the people that come out and follow you because there's nothing else going on. Winter racing sometimes can be the worst thing ever, but can also PR you to death. So it's a different aspect of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to say, it just, with me, it was like I won hundreds of modified races, and then I started winning sprint car races, and that's more national. People pay attention to that. I don't know, the modified just don't have that much of a grasp in the big picture of the world here, you know, but sprint cars are more national, and when I started winning with sprint cars or going to the Chili Bowl and meeting people that I've never been around and stuff, I got to meet Parnelli Jones. I was teammates with PJ Joe. PJ?
Mm-hmm.
PJ, yep. And it was pretty impressive to meet a IndyCar champion that won Indianapolis at the Chili Bowl. And the Chili Bowl is just so neat, so many different people there that you would never meet, drag racers, midget, late model guys and all. And it was neat. And to go out there, you get more notoriety than I think we do what we do with the modifieds.
Yeah. Mike?
I don't know. I would say that like this year for me we won the first race coming out into Albany, Saratoga, and that was pretty big to me because this whole operation that I'm in is different. I have more influence working on the race cars and driving and everything than I ever did before, and I just feel more involved. So to me, it's a little, it's just really special to be able to be successful in it.
Can I tell it?
Oh boy.
A Chili Bowl experience story. So last time we went, when we made it, Mike and Mandee went. So if anybody knows Mandee and the one that sells all my t-shirts, Kim, they were cheap. They decided to fly to Dallas. They saved them $300. Okay, guys, kid you not, can't make this story up there. So they put the kid in charge, Dan. They're driving through the night. Local cop in somewhere, nowhere, Oklahoma pulls them over. $250 ticket. They didn't make up for it. So then to make it all off, they get to the almost the airport. Didn't know where to sleep. They pull over, 4 of them in a car. This little car. They tied everything in, slept in a Walmart parking lot.
Yep.
In the car. Because we just couldn't go home thinking that we lost money by getting a hotel room and having a nice bed to sleep in.
So anybody that everyone calls me cheap. That's where she gets it from. So I'm honest on that side of it.
Speaking of what?
Talking about the chili bowl, I got a good story.
I was just gonna say, give us some good stories.
Everybody's got good chili bowl stories. I'm out there, me and I think it was Dickie, and Brett Hearn and Mark Kenyon. They were out there. Brett was out there driving, and I was out there driving. And we had to fly out early in the morning. We had like a 5 o'clock flight. And they're like, they're laughing at us. You know, we don't fly out till 9 o'clock. So it's like, oh, shit, you know. We got to get up so early in the morning. We didn't even get to go to sleep hardly. So I said, you know what? I called the main desk, and I found out what their room was. I said, look, this is Brett Herman in room 312. Give me a 4 o'clock wake-up call. I got to fly out at 5. So the motel gives them this wake-up call. They didn't even look at the clock to get up. They showered, get ready and everything. And then they finally look at the clock and say, what the hell? We're 5 in the morning, you know? So it took a month or so until I seen them later. And they're like, do you guys have a problem flying out? Getting up early? They looked at me, you son of a... So I got them pretty good.
That's a good one.
Well, as we go, if you come up with any good stories, feel free.
Do you want me to break it up right now and tell me what started? So 2020 has been an interesting year. So when we ended up going to North Carolina, to Tri-County, to start racing back up there or whatever it was, and I was half crazy to go down. So we get in a truck. There's 4 of us, you know.
Okay.
Respect the everything going on, pandemic. We had no idea, you know. So we get over. We're going up. No idea we're in the mountains. Coming down the hill. Next thing I know, me and the one guy fall asleep. Guy's got the tri-wave. He's up in the dirt. So we get through that, get to the bottom of the hill. My truck brakes are so red on fire. They're calling us, you're on fire. So we pull over, we go down, we get down. Couldn't get down the hill because we had no brakes. So we put it in first, drove down the hill in first. Well, we wore the transmission out. So then we couldn't get up the hill to get into the motel at the night. So we go, okay, what do we do here? So we go find up there. We find the local Kroger. So this is 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm kidding you not. There's 4 o'clock. They're there. There's 3 guys out back. You know, this is May 25th, middle of really before we had any idea what's going on in this country, you know, pandemic. So we get there. There's this local minister. So, well, we need transmission oil. Well, it's 4 o'clock. He went in the grocery store, got his transmission oil, got us enough in to get up the hill. So we get up in the morning, we put brake pads on, get down there. So we're going down. We have no idea where we're at. The next thing we know, we're welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains. So we get down, we get to the top of the last hill, and I look down, and my truck's got so much oil on the top of the hill. It's everywhere. So this is after we had the chase car that we got a flat on.
Yeah.
We wrecked everything in possible sight. So we're going down. So I said to her, I said, okay, we left the guys at the top of the hill with no service. Couldn't get a hold of them, couldn't do nothing. So me and her roll down the hill. First thing we find, 9 miles from where we were at, was a trailer park. We pull in here. Now this is the guy leans right in. You guys went over 10th Mountain. You guys are nuts. I said, what the hell are you talking about? This guy's like looking at her going, I'm
There's
like,
no pandemic
so weird. This guy's right in our face. So I guess there's nothing to worry about here. So we go up, we find out, figure it out. And Yeah, we got to the track. They said a few people noticed there, but lost a few years of it. We're on the side of the road throwing water on our brakes here,
pouring water
with
bottles.
fans on it to get to the track. So yeah, we can tell a good experience here.
Yeah.
Like going to Accord.
Yeah, going to Accord. Anybody ever been to Accord? You get off 287, you go up the hill.
Steve.
We're going up the hill. We're looking over. Holy crud, that's a ways down there.
All right. So Waylon asked, how did you guys get into racing, and what was your first ever race?
So my dad raced at Fulton Speedway weekly along with other tracks on the outlaw circuit in New York. And I used to go with my grandmother and watch in the grandstands, and my mom would carry the tires and fuel jugs around and help him out. And, so that's what I remember. It's a long time ago. I don't have a lot more than that to tell you.
What do you got?
My father raced, and I kind of followed in his footsteps and built a car. And my first race was supposed to be Middletown, New York, and we loaded up, left with his stink body truck, open trailer, my little Falcon. First time I was ever supposed to race, and I thought the old man would go. He said, I'm not going, So it's all right. So we went up there. We got lost, and I think it was Rich Polens. We decided, man, let's go back so we can get in Flemington, right? Flemington's our hometown, So we turned around, went back, went into Flemington. There was three of us, and me, Polens, and I think it was Bigley. And I said, you look a little too young, Dick. You stay out. We'll just go in. So we got in there, and I got to race. And nobody said nothing. I figured, well, we're good to go, My first race, I forget, I didn't qualify, of course. And I think I went up the wall, down the wall. Lucky I didn't flip because Flemington was notorious for flipping. And thought I had it made. I said, I was only 17. I'd be 18 in Jersey. That's why I was going to Middletown. And I went to Flemington. My parents went to Middletown. They didn't tell me, but they did go. And they're on their way up there. There's an airport. And I guess a plane had crashed on the road or something. And they look, and it was a white plane. They thought it was my trailer, my car upside down. They were all nervous and everything, but they ended up going to Middletown. I went to Flemington.
Billy?
I was done from day one on that side of it. Kenny Schrader told me to play golf, but I didn't listen on that side. It would have been a lot easier. But so originally my first modified experience was, he probably remember this. He was running for Rick Thumb. Remember Rick and Corky? We were going to go to Rolling Wheels. He says, you had the second car. And he goes, I think I was 13. I take the laps. They're not going to have enough things. We got halfway there and it rained out, thank God. I don't know if I could even got in gear at that point, to be honest with you. So shout out to the Tanner Van Dorn and all the young kids winning on that side of it. So after that, it was when I was 15. So I pulled out of Hagerstown opening day. I'm running there. I was behind the field, It was one of them early season shows. And Tom Hager pulls out behind me. I thought I was King Turd for beating Tom Hager, but he told me he just drove behind me to see if I was any good and left me to that on that side of it. So that's my story on that one. So he was he'll be all right, kid. So if anybody knows Tom Hager, he had this big white van and open trailer he used to drive around. So circle 2003. So actually, I guess come around was it that year? The following year? I don't know. I forged my birth certificate of the race when I was younger too, so that was a long time ago. So that's a good Thanksgiving Eve special. That's 15 years ago. So I did some magical work with computers to race back in the day. So that's up to the kids that can run younger. Couldn't go back when I started.
Heather asks, of course, how is it racing one another in a race? I know it's great.
Well, if we weren't racing for racing in expensive equipment for a lot of money, it'd be awesome actually, because I think we all respect each other pretty well on the racetrack, and they're great to race with. So that's good. The other side is that we're racing for a lot of money and expensive equipment, and we really want to get to the front, and it makes it harder to be that aggressive. So that's my take.
I haven't raced with Mike that much. I raced with this guy too much, and we usually try to pick different tracks. But Bridgeport there, we raced the last race there. It seemed like we raced each other after race, back and forth. He was terrible, I was terrible, and he ended up beating me. And then the next day he showed up in another car. we all got raced, and I started behind both of them and passed them both and finished in front of them. So
That was the first time in a while, so let's let him go on that side.
It makes it good, you know. Well, I don't get to race with them that much, you know. Yeah, it's like whatever.
No, you take it as it goes. You know, you try to avoid it. Like he says, everyone goes, "Why don't you go to Bridgeport?" Well, we try to split on Saturday nights on that side. It doesn't mean I don't like the place. It just make it as it goes.
Why put all eggs in one basket and try to?
Exactly. So what was it?
And it's like they love when we have a special. Love to put us in the same heat. You know, it's just we want to see you guys struggle. We want to see you race one another.
So even not me, him racing. You want to watch what happens when we race together and watch Mandy's video started last year. I mean, him give way too much room, and Tyler Dipple shot in the middle of us, and it screwed us both up. So two idiots and a Peapod should have run into each other, and we probably went second and third. But you know, it's the down perspective of it all. Yeah. So one more question: how many wins do you got this year, BP3?
37.
So he says he's got 37 wins. He's tripled us this year on that. We're still trying to figure out where it comes from, but it's pretty impressive, right?
So if BP3, if you raced all three of these guys, would you win? Would you win the race?
Would you beat us?
The most wins?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He says, yep.
Here, Billy, you can answer this question first. Doug asks, of all the late night dinner spots to stop on the way home from the races, what's your favorite?
Well, I always like Sheets, but Sheets is slow. Really, really slow. So it ends up being Wawa. So you laughed the last time. So I think I got 60 shows in this year. Every night I ate somewhere different. So when I'm at Ricky's the other night, I ate Wawa. So you figure I ate 80 to 90 times at Wawa. So this guy here is pretty bad when your 4-year-old knows the menu off of Wawa on that side. So we see diners. When I grew up, he was a diner thing. It was the Route 22 diner out there, the Colonial, when we come back from the Grove. It was a board in town from that New Egypt.
Wasn't it like a Golden Nugget or something?
And then we used to Golden Coach. So, but nowadays Wawa and Sheets because everyone's in a hurry and my crew guys are always in a pinch. So it's not too good, but you eat a lot on the road, and that's why Mandy picked up the McDonald's habit.
I grew up the same way. My dad would always stop at the Jordan Diner on the way home from Fulton, and I always loved that. Those are great memories, and it's disappointing there aren't as many diners anymore. It's hard to find them. But you still stop at the diner.
I'm still a diner guy. This year I couldn't do diners because of COVID and all that. But I don't know. I like we get done racing. We go to the diner. We all sit there, me and the crew.
In the middle.
We hash over the whole situation of the night. And, you know, it's good. You bring it up, what each person thinks, how we can get better. Who's doing what? I don't know. I've always been a diner person going back to the Flemington. They circle diner on Flemington. The old famous circles in Flemington. I heard you like them, huh?
I don't like the new circles. Maybe the old circles are a little better.
Way better than the new circles. Let me tell you, I hate the new circles.
Me too. I'm with you on that.
So, someone asks, why do you lick your earbuds before putting them in?
Because they just don't go in dry. They stick and they don't go in and set in there right.
Kind of helps them like form, right?
Yeah, and they seal better.
You gotta lube them up and then roll them down so they compress and then fit them in your ears and they expand and hopefully you can hear.
Little earwax will never kill anybody.
So Richard asks, what do you think about me putting all the cameras on your cars? We know how much Dad loves it. But does it help you later when you watch the videos? If you actually watch my videos is the key word. But do you guys like it?
One first.
Mike, go right ahead.
I didn't understand the question.
How do you like the cameras?
Yeah, how do you like
How do I like the cameras on
Yeah.
the car? I like it. I love having the footage, and I really enjoy being able to go back and watch it and see what happened. The tough part is I hate that if somebody if you mount it on a bumper and it gets knocked off, I feel bad, and then it seems to be it's a lot of work for you to put them on 3 cameras on 3 different cars. So that part seems kind of hectic, but once you get them on and get them running, it's great.
Me, at first, I don't know, I'm kind of superstitious when I put cameras on my car and stuff. I never really liked it, but anymore it don't bother me. I kind of block it out of my mind and don't even think about it. When I do watch your videos, I get to see, if I'm racing with somebody, what they're doing, like me and Mike at Bridgeport, I got to see what he was doing. He was pushing, I was pushing. So we're in the same boat, but at least I can see if somebody's pulling me off the turn to confirm what I'm thinking. Because a lot of times when you're out there racing, you're not like computing everything. You're just trying to make your car go better, and to watch, like a lot of times you watch going around your hands. You can tell, you're good, you're good, you're good. Like him, a lot of times he's doing this, and then when he starts doing this, that means you're hacking. So you can tell he's tight, he's good, he's good, he's good. Then when he starts going like this, you tell he's loose. So it does give you another tool of reference to look at to try to decipher what your car's doing or what you're doing.
I'm just glad she's not there when I make mistakes like Saturday and drive off the bank and she don't have video of it. So that works out.
I mean, I got you hitting the wall.
So let's leave it on that side of it.
Got you hitting the wall at Fonda.
Yeah, well, I did drive in the wall at Fonda, so that's a different story, different day. But yeah, he's right. You can see the different things. And we were at Georgetown earlier this year. If you want to watch the video, like he goes, you can see him going like this and this and all over the place. And there I am, kind of like rolling around like smooth as a whistle.
Remember Georgetown? He's going around there with torsion like.
Yeah,
going down the highway. I'm in there.
Yeah.
I'm
bouncing around like, what the hell's
What's wrong with this
picture?
thing?
I'm 60, he's 30, and I'm freaking
Bouncing
wearing
around.
myself out in a wheel car. It's like something's wrong here.
So someone who is new to modifieds, he's asking, he doesn't have a heated garage. How should he store his modified?
Antifreeze, fog it down, and make sure you don't freeze the block, because that's the number one issue, freezing blocks. Actually, I was talking to Motorboat the other day and had a guy freeze the block. So make sure you got antifreeze in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If it's cold and damp, your motor will rust up and stuff. So you want to fog it down, oil it up real good, and make sure you got antifreeze in, or else drain all the water out of it. I don't know. Get a sponsor and get some heat.
Yeah. There
I
you
did
go.
a garage.
Yeah.
That's pretty important for your race car.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any superstitions? Billy, you start first.
Start with me.
You do too.
I stop. I kind of weird. Like I stop at Sheets on the way sometimes. A while I stop at the same places. My guys, I drive my guys nuts on that side of it. So we pick them all up in kind of the same way and kind of roll with it. So nothing really out of the whack, but like if you're rolling good, you want everything to go good. He's right next to me. He's like very funny on that. Like if everything's rolling, you want the same every week. Sometimes you gotta flow with it, but I do agree. You gotta kind of make things happen as you go.
Yeah, I guess you'd be. I guess called superstition. I mean, when you're going good, you try not to deter from your regular schedule and stuff. It's like Phil drives. We'll stop down the road, get coffee, and I'll take a nap at the track, have my coffee, take a nap on the way to track, and you kind of look at the same stuff that when you did good the week before, and hope you do good again this week. So you kind of, I don't know, I kind of like focus on that kind of stuff, and try not to focus on being negative.
For me, it's I'm not that superstitious, really. I really try to keep everything as consistent as possible, and that helps my confidence. If we're running good, then we keep everything the same. Then I go in thinking that we're going to win.
So growing up, who would you say your idol was? Who wants to start? Billy?
Well, besides him, obviously, on that side, that's a kind of a loaded question on that side of it. I don't know. I got birthday cards from Jeff Gordon and stuff. It was pretty cool on that side when I was a kid. I'm going to make fun of Rainbow Warriors, but Braver him and all that stuff kind of took me to that level on that end of it. Obviously, met a lot of people. So anybody that wants to push you to win, if you're not there to win, you got to, I don't know, you got to find someone that wants to win, but also does it with respect and stuff too as well. So that's who I would take as an idol and where I come from.
Well, I have to say I grew up watching my father, so he was my hero, When I got older, and I started racing myself, I looked up to the older guys like Gerald Chamberlain, Glenn Fitzgerald, Sammy Beavers, and probably one of my old-time favorites was Kenny Well. He really impressed me. I remember being a rookie and being at Bridgeport, and I walked over looking at his car, and he come up, and he started talking to me, he knew who I was, and I was blown away that, my first year of racing, I guess from him reading the paper, he knew I was winning rookie races and and stuff, and to know who I was. So that kind of blew me away. And, big Kenny Well fan.
For me, it was my dad. I was always impressed with his work ethic. He was never really a full-time racer, but he always wanted to be competitive when he go to the racetrack. And there was many times where he'd be working on the farm and maintaining everything in the field, and didn't really have a whole lot of time and effort to spend on the race car, and would still go and be really exciting to watch, and many times compete for the win and win races. So it was always fun watching him and following him and being able to follow in his footsteps and race more now. So.
I'm thinking about this here.
What are you doing with the pumpkin?
Sorry, the pumpkin's from Billy. So Mike's talking about the worst wreck. Does anybody remember when he got out at Kutztown and turned 3 and he had to lay on the ground?
That was
Let's go back.
Yeah.
To
that
the
was
story
worse
Yeah.
than the Fonda wreck.
Yeah.
But it happened after, so she said first wreck.
Okay, all right. I thought it was first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, was
that
it
one was
first wreck?
definitely worse.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Not
getting out
bad.
there just laying down. I'm like, okay,
You wouldn't
so
think that this little track at
Yeah.
Kutztown with these speedster
Yeah.
cars that you could hit that hard,
Mm.
but man, that hurt. I mean, it knocked me. I didn't knock me out,
Yeah.
but it knocked the wind out of me so hard.
So we want a good story on little cars
I've had a
on
lot
big
of
tracks.
You just said the first.
Yeah,
I give you the
yeah, you're
first
right.
one. Well, I've had a lot of bad
Tell them the story when you went to Phoenix in the midget and you finally told the guy you weren't going to drive any longer.
I was with the '94. I won in Syracuse in a sprint car, and I was like, man, I'm like Carl Larson, It's
Yeah.
like, wow, this guy. Everybody wanted me to go. I drove with late model Tucson. I flew out there. I flew out to drive a midget, a champ car at Phoenix. A midget on a mile asphalt track.
Oh my God.
in Phoenix. Let me tell you, that was hairy. I thought I had balls, but man, they were like raisins out. I was going around there, you're going to turn and you're chasing and
Yeah.
around, you're chasing. I come in, tighten it up, go out there, I'm shaking around, like, come in, tighten it up. He goes, Bill, I know you're a good driver. You sure you ain't shaking it loose? I'm like, I'm scared to death, turn it up. And I blew up 2 motors in it, practicing. I blew one up, and they put another one in, they hooked it all up, go back out, I'm practicing again. And it blew that up. I'm like, oh, good, I'm out of this freaking deal. I might live to be an old man. And Lou Ciccone comes up and he goes, hey, what's up? We're out of motors. I got an extra motor. I'm like, shh, get the hell out of here. Really? Don't tell these guys.
lost his goal.
I said, I might walk out of here alive, And then I watched the race, and that's the way they were. They're all out there twitching and flitting around. And it was like, it was just something different. I mean, you're in a little midget. You're like, on a mile track. I did a sprint car, which was a little bit more room then, but a midget.
That sounds
Yeah.
a little scary.
Honking around, and they air draft each other down the straightaway.
Wow.
They actually drafted at Phoenix with a midget.
I can't believe that they do that. It sounds so
Right.
dangerous.
It
Out
was.
of all the cars you've been in, what would you say is the favorite one you guys have raced?
What's the best car we've driven?
It doesn't have to be like specific car, but type. Midget, sprint car, asphalt.
Hands down to me, the midgets are the best car, the most fun to drive. 600s are cool too, but midgets are the most fun, but they just don't run for the money. They're the most expensive car for the least amount of money in the racing for the bang for your buck. Modifieds are cool, but they don't react like a small car on that side of it. So was it 6 years ago? I sat at the USAC drivers meeting, and every single one of them had a broken back, broken neck, and I was like, yeah, that's not me on that side of it. So shouts off to them, and they're definitely cool cars.
I always say the same thing. I've driven midgets, sprints,
Mhm.
asphalt, this and that. It don't matter. To me, the funnest car is when it's up front and fast. When it's in the back and slow, I hate it.
Can you follow that?
All I would say is just that the reason I like the modifieds is because I don't want to be the guy in the midget at Phoenix and have that feeling. I just don't. I feel like it's like suicide. So
Only been twice in my life where I've wanted to drive a car on a wall. That was that bad, so not too bad.
BP3, when you start racing, what will your number be?
Right now it's a 15,
Yeah?
but it might change when I do race it.
Okay. What would you guys say is your all-time favorite track? If whoever wants to go first, go for it.
Gotta be Lake Makatech Speedway. Everyone was waiting for a good joke.
I never
on that
got to
side
go
of it.
there.
I know. I don't know if Brett Day was on today, but he always threatened to reopen the place. But you think all the money he makes nowadays, he'd reopen the place, you know? No, they're all cool. I always really like Fulton. That's a good track. You know, there's some cool tracks on Indiana. Went to Bloomsbury and Bloomington. Sorry, as my wife is correcting me on that side of it. Just cool tracks. There's a lot of fun, as you know, as they'll say. Anything races. Granby's always been good. The new Bridgeport's pretty cool. I gotta admit, it's. I don't know about a driver test your nerves, but it's interesting for sure. So.
Yeah, same thing. I like a lot of tracks. I mean, I knew Grandview, Fulton, you know, there were just a lot of tracks I liked over the word, Knoxville. But if I had to pick one favorite, it would be Flemington. You know, I always liked Flemington because I grew up there, you know, at school right behind the place, and all the kids I went to school with, you know, they were there. So I'd say Flemington.
Put it the way you put it, if you're winning, then that's the best track. I always grew up watching races at Fulton, so I love racing there, and I think that it's cool. The banking, best new track would be Bridgeport. That's probably one of the raciest new tracks that there is, and you know, I don't know. I just like that configuration with the banking and with it wide, lots of room.
What's your favorite track?
Georgetown, because I have 10 wins, and the other track is just 1-1-1.
You have 10 wins at Georgetown?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the other win at the other track is just 1-1-1.
Oh, okay. Have you guys ever suffered road rage on the track?
Yeah.
Mike's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Ryan Watt. Sorry, I went there. Hey,
that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody like wrecks your equipment that you worked on hard to prepare, then it makes you angry. I mean, it's really hard.
That's when you do the trunk dance, right?
Yeah.
Or was that the hood dance?
No, dude.
I got on the deck, but
It's the deck dance.
It's a deck dance.
yeah, my deck was wrecked, so I felt like his should be. It was like an eye for an eye thing, but no, I really just. I mean, how do you control it? You got to think about what's in front of you and forget about it behind you, I guess.
Racing's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and like he says, especially I never buddied up to Syracuse because of all the work involved to get there and stuff. And same thing with Oswego. You spend all these hours building a car and getting the crew together, strategies, motors, all this stuff to go there and race, and some idiot does something stupid and crashes you, and it's like, oh, sorry you did that to me. You want to kill a guy, you know? It's just you snap, you know, and it's like, yeah, we get road rage too, and you know, and it just ain't. We don't just leave these cars in the trailer week to week. We bring them out, tear them apart, wash them, clean them, work on them, and try to get sponsors and help. And it just, there's a lot of emotion involved here. And when things happen, you want to snap somebody. That's for sure.
I've never pulled a spark plug off a wire in my life.
Yeah.
I'm the same
That
guy.
was the-
Michelle, do we remember that?
So I ran all the way across the track at Big Diamond, and I talked to him today, so now I can say it was Jared Oppenauer on that side. I got all the way halfway there, and I was out of breath. I went, what am I going to do, punch him? So I looked over, and I see this plug wire. I was like, grab this plug wire. So I went, I'm done, you're done, and threw it on the ground and walked away. So that was the night. Well, I wasn't the only one to rumble on that night, so we'll leave it on that side of it.
Well, Billy, I know you can say this, but can you name all the tracks that you have raced at?
There's 95. Some guy asked me last winter. The guy's name's right in the back. It's called Roaming the Raceways. I think it is. He's had in the racing paper, Area Auto, for years.
Yeah.
He asked me last winter, and I did it one day. He wrote, think of all the tracks you've been to. It's on a website out there. So shout out to that guy. He actually put it down. So
Wait, the guy's keeping tracks for you?
yeah, he's on roamingtheraceways.com or something like that. He sent me a message. I think it was like 120 tracks I've been to. So I'm sure he's about 200. I actually thought it was pretty crazy when we wrote it down.
Whatever you've been to, I've been to more.
Yeah, so he's been more on that side of it. So we can go to Well, they count like Volusia asphalt, Volusia dirt, because when you used to go to Volusia, remember the dirt track and asphalt, you could see together.
I'm just hoping that someday I do well enough that somebody keeps track.
Someone out there is. If you could change one thing in the sport, what would it be? Billy, little BP3, what would you change? The food? They need ice cream at every track, right? Yeah.
What would you change, Billy?
The racetrack, if they're going bad, we'll make a new racetrack but at the same place and stuff.
Just rebuild?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Work in these cars is terrible. And I'm not going to say that on that side of it. It's become, you need a spring smasher, shock dyno, tire machine. I mean, you laugh at us. I mean,
We got lots of stuff.
I'm very fortunate. I looked last night. We had a couple guys there last night, and they're great guys, but 3 of them are over the age of 70, so trying to find help to keep it going is the toughest thing on that side of it. We're fortunate we got it, but the time in this stuff is expensive. Don't get me wrong, but usually there's you can get enough people to help, and they're fortunate that there is money out there to do it, but it's the time to do it all. If there was more time, we'd run 120 races, but there's only enough time to do what we do.
Yeah, I'd have to say the time involved in racing now, that's the biggest thing. The money's bad, this and that. Do they need different motor combinations? And, it's just back when I started racing, there was Sportsman, there was Modified. Sportsman were 318, Modified were 467. There were 2 motors. You could take the Sportsman road and Modified, and that was it. Now you got, I don't know what the hell you got, spec, you start out, you got crates, you got specs, you got open 360s, you got 430, 440s, big blocks. It's just too many motor combinations. I just think that hurts our sport, and everybody's got their opinion what they think is best. We need specs, they're cheap, or crates, they're cheap, and big blocks are too expensive. But I don't know, I'm a big block guy. I like just all the power you can get, and you don't have to screw around trying to slick the car up and buy a bunch of other stuff to try to make the car faster, because you got all the power you need. Just put on narrow tires, narrow the bodies up, and back the doors up, so you don't have so much air on the cars, and drive them, it's like, if you're going to go out and buy a dump truck, you don't go out and buy a little block dump truck. You buy a big block dump truck because it can pull more and it lasts longer, but nobody sees it that way. Everybody sees it in a different light, but too many motor combinations and too much work.
That is too much work. I totally agree with that, and I think that there's got to be a way to make the racing less expensive and a little less work. Regardless, we're all going to put just as much effort into trying to be fast, but if it was a little less, it'd be nice, I guess. But to add to it, I guess I'd like to see more ways to get more kids involved so that they learn how to wrench on these cars and how to build motors and how to create these things, because there's less and less people each year that do it. Not less people driving, but less people that actually build the cars and build the motors. They're all getting older, and it's like, who's gonna build this stuff when these guys aren't around anymore? And that part's kind of scary, I guess.
How many cars we got in our shop right now?
Like
It's funny. From the
6
time
or 5 or 10
when I started racing, I was a farm boy. And service farmers had race cars. And then you look at service stations with a race car down. When you ride down the road, there's a race car down one. There ain't no farmers around no more, and there ain't no service station. They're all convenient food stores run by whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And where's the racers come from? Where's these?
Yeah.
It's hard now. It's all bought and McDowell, T.O., Troyer. You go buy the car. You don't really build all that much anymore. Nobody's got fabrication skills, and like they say, it's hard to find help.
you don't learn fabrication skills from just expecting all the holes to line up on a cookie cutter body that comes and you don't really have to do anything. It's like, why doesn't the Zeus button go in? Well, figure it out.
They call them modifieds we run. They're modified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BP3.
What?
Someone wants to know where your die-cast cars came from. Do you know the name of the business?
Like what?
Well, where'd they come from?
I don't know, because these weren't mine, because they were Daddy's cars when he was little. So I don't know.
Let's see. I don't know if what's going on here? I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not. But what is it?
Racers Preferred Models.
RacersPreferredModels.com.
So we look like,
Very nice.
if anybody's ever seen the old wind tunnel, remember Dave Despain on the wind tunnel? We said the bobblehead, so we got race cars on their side of it. We tried to get a
Whole
bobblehead
field.
of Mandee, but her head was too big to fit on there. So
Yours is bigger.
Why
Yours
do
is bigger.
we have cars, but the old cars, they don't race anymore? It doesn't like that. It looks brand new. Because this, what they look like it, but the same car we made shaped like that. So I'm like, why do we race it and then we don't race it anymore? So
yep,
Well, thank you.
what he said.
If you could change one thing on the cars, what would it be?
Narrow the bodies up. It takes too dang long to wash these damn things.
mine's the gas
So-
because there's no gas. It doesn't happen all by itself.
He says the gas on the side of it. So it takes us. So last Sunday, me and Todd started at 11 o'clock. We didn't get done until 3. But we kind of walked the dog a little bit, took our time. But that's still 4 hours to wash a race car if you really want to do it from right.
I think it's maybe 3 hours. You will make
Yeah.
do everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything. Disassemble it, wash the body, wash the frame, wash the tires, clean the trailer out, and everything. 3 hours. You know, and it's the same thing, beating it back straight to put it on. You know, I mean, narrow the bodies up, back the doors up, so you can get to the motors. The bodies are the biggest things, you know, and it's just like we all have the same bodies, you get the same results. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it ain't that he's got a big body, I got a small body. As long as we all have the same, we're all in the same boat. But it just makes a little less work.
This would I totally agree, it would save people a lot of money and time. They wouldn't get bent up as easily, and it really, with the very few fabrication skills, you could cut the deck and the chutes shorter, rebend them, and move the doors and quarters in, and it really wouldn't cost you anything because you could use the existing body you already have. And you know, if you're going to cut the doors or the quarters shorter, you'd have to re-letter those panels, but that really, it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
It's a simple fix, you know. Everybody's like, oh, the motors are too expensive, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you take some air off the car, you don't need so much motor.
Yeah.
If
Sure.
you don't need so much motor, then you have to have an expensive motor, you know. And it's like, and the same with the sheet metal. You know, you back it up, you can get to the motor and work to it again. You move it in a little bit, you don't get it beat up so much, so it's less straightening, it's less washing, and it's a lot less work. And I just see it as a plus. And every year we all put new sheet metal on. Almost everybody puts new sheet metal on.
Except me.
Well, that's the different story.
Just keep running with that
But
one.
it's just like, you know, it's a 1 year switch over, and we can do it, you know. But that's too simple. We need to like maybe change the motor rules again. Take these motors that we got all this money into, throw them away, and we'll start with these motors over here because that's the new greatest idea.
That and my other pet peeve is we put so much time into our cars. I can't stand tracks that don't put time in their track.
Mm.
I'm okay with slick tracks, but give us something to go around on and make pass on that side of it. You know what I mean? You want to go, you put effort into it. You don't want to show up on a Saturday. That track hasn't been touched all week. You want someone that puts a little effort in and gives you a service. And then you see that, you know, we went to, I think the three of us, I wouldn't say nothing knocking in our tracks, but you know, you look at Port Royal, they stepped up their game and were racing. They put they put effort back in their facility. Susquehanna last Saturday, Bridgeport done it. I think I was telling him yesterday, and I take it as it rolls on the side of it. Racing is actually coming back to me. Like I said, the work tough side of it's tough on that. but actually see a revitalization. There's about 4 or 5 tracks that are coming back, and I think it's kind of cool. And they're putting money back into these places. So hopefully that's a good thing for the future.
Not many people understand we're racers. We go out there, we race one another, everybody else. That's our stage. They give us a good stage, we put on a show. They give us a crappy stage. It's like watching a train go down a railroad track, and it's so dusty you can't even see the train.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, give us 2 grooves. That's all we ask. 2 grooves, a bottom, a top.
Mhm.
And if it's going to be a 1 groove, at least make it the top. We can maybe slide one another or something. But there ain't many people that understand track prep. And I got to give Richie Pies that, because he's a racer and he understands, you know, you need 2 grooves. And he'll go out there and promote a top groove. And it's the same thing in Middletown. You know, we go up there and slick. At least give us something around the wall, you know, and maybe we can slide one another or something. The guy goes up there, digs it up, puts a little water up there. It makes it racy. That's what people want to see, cars passing cars. They don't want to see cars lined up going boom, 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 you know. Make it exciting, you know. And like I said, the only guy I've seen do it, you know, is Richie. You know, he does a really good job of it. He did a good job at Kutztown. He does a good job at Bridgeport. And he understands it. And it's the same thing like us 3 trying to get a car to handle. We don't always get it right. You don't always get it right, but you learn. And then, you know, you got the weather, you got the wind, you got the sun, you got the, you know, all the temperature, all the stuff creates what you're going to do. You don't water the track as much in October as you do in the middle of August, you know, so you got to figure all this stuff. And the same way you try to get a car to handle, it's hard to get it perfect. And I don't usually say much about the guy. My main concern is I go out there and I can see. I got to see. I almost got my head torn off, like I said, when I got turned around, I got come up with the top, tore the cage back because it was so dusty. I couldn't see. That guy couldn't see. And I almost got killed, you know, but that's the biggest thing I don't like, dust. You know, you got to see where you're going.
Okay, good answers. Now, would you prefer purses not to be so top heavy and have more money spread through the field?
He calls it the Dolly Parton effect. Top on the bottom and that side of it from there. My pet peeve, and I'm not knocking it, I can't stand. I'm with him. I think after 50 laps, you don't know where you're at. Get the heck off the racetrack on that side. We don't need to put laps on the motors. You figure it out on that side of it. But yes, I do think, like it or not, it's really from a sprints dirt modifieds. I was just looking at Eldora is paying $275,000 to win shows next year, which is phenomenal. I don't know what pace, which is second next year. But you look at our modified state in the past 4 or 5 years, we've gone from one big race to having 3 or 4. Whether it's the SSTS challenging dirt, making them pay more, whether it's dirt coming back on that side of it. But you can look next year, there's 3 $50,000 to win races that paid $20,000 per second. So to answer your question, you should pay all the way through. I mean, Saturday's show was $3,000 per second for 5 to win. I'm fair with that. It's when you get them, and I'm not knocking it. It's a great race, one of the races I want to win. But the Coal Cracker, $17,000 to win and $3,000 per second, which is a shame on that side of it. And I like them people up there, but that is an utter shame for what that race is.
I mean, 10 would be good to win it.
Yeah, 10 would be good and take the other
side,
spread the thing on that, you know. And that's just speaking the truth of it, you know. I always thought you cut in half seconds what half should be half what the winners.
Yeah, and there's a balance there. You don't want to be racing a guy for $50.
Yep.
Like each position shouldn't be that low of a split, but also you don't want it to drop off that far from first to second. That's horrible.
I mean, look at that race at Eldora this year. It was 50 to win and 12 for second. So why else would you Kyle Larson do a slider like that?
You know, it's like Dale. He's got a lot of good ideas. I don't agree with everything he does, but he does do a lot of good. And, you know, he pays $5,000 on 50 lappers, which I agree with. I don't see a 100 lapper. You know, if you can get them 50, why do you need to run 100 and burn your motor up? You know, I know Mike likes long races, but I'm not.
I'm hoping we get paid a little more for running 100.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
but like he says, once you drop down from that 5,000 for it to win, I don't know, 3-2, and then it goes. You know, then you got to watch it's $50 per position from like 5th to 10th, and it's like you got to put in your mind, I'm going to crash for $50 going from 7th to 6th. So you got to watch that kind of stuff, but. You know, I mean, back when I raced, they were all high top.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the wall in the high bay. I got a lot of higher paying shows than he does, but the shows that he won paid back better than the shows that I won. You know, I mean, it's great to win the big money, but there's 30 other guys out there trying to make a couple bucks to recoup too. So yeah, that's one thing I do like about Deo's deal. He does pay back,
which I think is the right thing.
Pretty good.
I do agree with that because I mean, you look at
you know, but like I said, I just, you know, I'm not one with the pick deal. I just don't agree with picking because I work so hard on my car to go to a track for luck, you know, and I just pick lousy and it's just my night's done, you know, and it's like 20, 30 years ago you could do that because there was such a distance between competition in seconds. Now there's hundreds of seconds. You know, we're all so close. We all can buy the same car, the same motor. So if you're all running IROC, how, you know, that's why I feel you need the time and line the field up by time, you know.
I don't disagree, and I'll let Mike get to a second, but there's 600 people out there. There's got to be someone with a lucky horse. Whoever you are, draw for this guy the next draw shows because I want to see you draw for him because I'm terrible. This is the first time I started third in the heat on that side of we are, but this guy was the worst. So I agree with him on draw, but I think if we could finally find him a good draw, or he might swing the other side on the side of it.
The lucky horse thing is a great point.
You watch the Outlaw League Medals.
They don't draw.
They don't draw.
Oh no, we agree.
They're more Outlaw Sprint cars. They don't draw. Why do we need to draw?
Yeah.
Well, I want to work off my preparation and talent. I don't want to work off my luck. If I want to work off my luck, I'll go to Atlantic City, sit there and play cards and have people bring me drinks and I don't get hot and sweaty and aggravated, you know? That's what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to work off my preparation and talent. I don't want to work off my luck.
Yeah. So, open house. If COVID permitting, are we having it? People are asking.
Yeah, we should hopefully have vaccines and
we should be good to go on that side of it. Hopefully, the guy that is the official Mandee Pauch fan club. She's got fan clubs. The main guy.
Hey, people are requesting bobbleheads. Thank you.
Yeah, I know, right? That would be a sight on that side of it. So hopefully we can kill it. Last time I think we hit it out of the ballpark. I think we had like 600 people, so it's pretty impressive. We might have been even more on that side of it. So we're working towards it. There is a slash on there, Pauch, / maybe Mahaney somewhere down the road. So we're gonna end this on that on Thanksgiving night. So
hang on.
I'm not putting Mike on the spot here. Did I do that to you guys?
Yeah,
I didn't say nothing on that
been
side
asking
of it.
that all night. Sorry guys, I've been avoiding that question. Okay, we're gonna close with 2 more questions. One, what would you guys suggest? Obviously this year fans in the stands we were loud fans. They killed it, but like a regular, normal, non-COVID year, what would you suggest for tracks to draw in more fans?
Driver connection. Racing sucks unless you know someone in the field. So shout out to everything Mandee started this video here 4 or 5 years ago.
Take note, guys.
And my wife will tell you, and he'll tell you, we're in Florida 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, Billy was not even 1 at that point. She's going around like this.
What kind of camera?
Start a vlog show. So get the heck out of here. Where are you going to go from on that side?
Hey,
here we are.
He believed in me first. He gave me a camera.
Yeah, he actually did. 21,000 people later on that side of it. Connections make everything, and that's what does it. Drive your little fans. I had 5 people this week and stop and said we watch it because of that. This guy goes to Carlisle show. Probably don't want his head to get bigger. He's probably one of the best drivers I've ever seen. What does he get asked? Hey, your daughter does a vlog. I've seen you on that. Shout out to that. So don't forget that. Tracks, as you remember it, when Mandee comes around, make sure you give her that.
Fans and the stands. What do you got?
You need connections. Like you said, I mean, back in the day, I remember at Flemington, we get done after the races, I'd sit there and sign every autograph, talk to every fan. And I had a pile of people around my car, and I'd be the last one out of the pits. I don't see that anymore. You know, people load up, they leave as soon as racing are over. You need that connection. They want to know you. That's why we don't have that no more. That's why we have our open house to try to get the people in to sign cars, sign shirts, and talk to them. at least have a connection once a year. You know, we do it every 2 years. We probably should do it every year, but just to have that connection with our fans and to bring people in. Like I said, the connection with the fans, and you need good racing. You need a track that people want to talk about and come see.
Yeah, absolutely need that, and I think that you got to hype it up. You know, make it the show that you cannot miss. That everybody needs to come to see because of those connections, and they know these drivers, and you want to go see them compete against each other. And today's world, it's everybody's on their phone all the time. It's a cheap and easy place to advertise and show it off. Like, there's so many free avenues on social media to get that out there. So.
All right, so we're gonna
real quick.
Which
Haley, what do we got to do to bring fans to the races? What do you like about going to the races? Playing with other kids? No? Working on the race cars? Making tires cool again?
Your daddy's crew chief. That's what you do.
He's my crew chief right here. So we're very lucky. You got to bring kids into the sport. The kids make it go around too as well.
It's a great point. You need a place for them to play and hang out while their parents watch the races or something like that. You know, something to draw the kids in. Weedsport, the nicest facility I've ever seen. We won't comment on the track, but the nicest track I've ever seen. You want to take your kids to a nice track, go see Weedsport.
Yeah, hands down. Okay, so we're going to end with one good road story. On the road, give me one more funny. What do we got? No pressure.
Well, I'll start. So when I started with Adirondack Auto last year, we were having trouble with our truck.
That's what I was thinking.
And we just basically, would be driving down the road and the truck would just stop going. And it was all new to me. I never drove to the races before. I always just rode. And now I'm driving the truck and it's not going. So what we were told was, if this truck doesn't shift, then just reach down between the seats, through the carpet, and grab the wires and shake them, and it'll shift. And sure enough, it actually worked. So we did that for a few months, actually most of the year, before we figured out that all we had to do was change the electronic, shift module. It was like $600, and change that, and it's been working good ever since. So
kind of like Green Acre, where the guy used to have to climb the telephone pole to answer the phone. Instead of run the wire down the pole and put it in your house. Just climb up the pole. A little extra work. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so I got multiple ones on that side of it.
That's the wife's laughing.
As my wife laughs at this side of the story. So we went to Oklahoma one time. Woke up in the morning, the guy next to me is on the ground. I said, "What's wrong with you?" Didn't you hear the gunshots? Someone got shot next door. So on that side, hold on, there's in there. So we snuck a NASCAR star into the bar before they were 21. We went up and down the road. We got to a motel one time. There was, me and my wife now at the time, she was my girlfriend, and 4 guys. They had 2 lover suites. If you ever been to a lover suite, the thing there, all there was a shower door. There was none. So those guys took showers. They could see each other if they really wanted to. Where else do you want to go on that side? I got some other good ones on that side. I woke up, one of my crew guys had too much alcohol. He peed in the side of his car, filled the thing up on that side of it. He literally did on that end. So I don't know. I can keep going on and on for about more stories on the side. We're going down the highway one time. My guys found this cute girl going down the road in a minivan. Open the side door. The one guy reaches out, has to grab the number, doing about 65 down the highway. Following the girl off the highway, and I said, "We're out of here. This ain't gonna be good." The nights where you pick up your guys the next morning, hey, what happened? Shh, she's sleeping. They weren't good too either nights. So
someone ends up with his sweatshirt the next day.
Yeah, we end up with a guy where, hey, where's my sweatshirt? I just gave it to you. Well, the girl ended up with it. So some good stories from the road. Life, I always tell you, life on the road's good. We have more fun. It's a fun run a weekly, but it's good on that side of it. We spend a lot of time in different places, and that's always more entertaining to me than the weekly racing.
What do you got?
Mine's just a regular. What do you call that? G-rated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The best.
It's
The best.
R-rated. Mine's
Yeah.
G-rated.
Yeah.
Mine's back when I first started racing when I was a rookie. My first sponsor, Larry Benson, Opal Sunoco,
Mhm.
he bought me a ramp truck, and that was back in the 70s. They were like the thing, you know. You started out flat towing in the 50s, then you got trailers, then you got ramp trucks. So we got a ramp truck, but I thought we were a big deal, you know. So load the car up. We're going to go to Bridgeport. We're on our way down there. We went through a hailstorm. And I think to this day I haven't seen hail that big. They're as big as golf balls. And it was a big windows in the front thing, and it's bouncing off, and we're thinking it's going to break the windows. And we're going down. We had to go to Hopewell first to get fuel for the race car. Back then, you buy pump fuel. And he was my sponsor, Hopewell Sunoco. So we're going down there, and the transmission broke. So we pull over the side of the road. We didn't have cell phones back then. This is the 70s. So I don't know how to. We must have called somebody. Called my father. He was planting beans. He's a farmer. So he brought the truck and the trailer down. And we loaded all the tools and everything in the back on top of bean bags and stuff, and rolled the car off the ramp truck, put it on the trailer. We left, went down to Sonoma Station, got our fuel. We're leaving there. We're going down 295 to go to Bridgeport, and a plane crashed on 295, so all traffic was stopped. So we're in traffic, and we're getting late. So we detoured. We went off around. We get back on 295. We get all the way down there. We get to the races, unload, and I think we missed the heat. That's how late we were. So the consi was getting ready to go out. So we pulled out, got lined in the chute to go out for the consi, and we're sitting there, and it downpoured rain. Got rained out. So we did all that work and got rained out. So that was my on the road. I mean, there's a million stories, but I try to go with G-rated.
This is G-rated. This is why I can go on the stories. I was 13. We drive all the way to Charlotte. We're sitting there eating Bob Evans at breakfast. He's running a sprint car at that time. We get in. We're looking at each other. There's two other guys. Jimmy Stryker, I think, is on the trip. Hey, there's our guys. Where's the trailer? Trailer broke down. We drove all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina. They never made with the car. Car never showed up before cell phones or anything. That's like, what are you doing here?
Wasn't it the one time? Was it Phil from Billy? He met you. We're supposed to meet you or mom or someone at the Bagel Smith.
That was his brother.
Oh my God! Look.
And she missed him. He had to walk from there all the way home.
It's like
10 miles.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh. My grandfather, God rest his soul, we had crew guys, you know. So we're up in Syracuse the first year I went there. One guy sleep in the middle of the night. He was snoring so loud. My grandfather went in the room, took a big bucket of water, dumped it on his head. The guy jumps up. What's wrong, Leroy? Practicing getting up. I can't stand your snoring. If I can't sleep, you can't. Guy never came back after that. So we'll leave it at that.
It's about hungry. Yeah, it was. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining and sticking around. Hope everyone has a good, safe, healthy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving all. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Hey, Bill. What are you doing?